Hey, what up guys, how's it going? Today I have something super cool and very exciting. Whether you're a Tesla owner like me, or you just have a nice car you care about, then this video is for you. See, where I'm at in Northern California, there are a plethora of detail shops. But there's only one shop that matters. There's only one name that keeps coming back anytime you want something done to your car. And that's OCDetailing. Now you don't have to believe me, you can go ahead and Google and see, and you'll see nothing but 5-star reviews, praises of this company. Now, we already know their work. We know they do great work, exceptional work, phenomenal work, but we don't know how they came to be. We don't know about the guy that started the business. His name is Joe. So that's what this video is. I have an opportunity to sit with him, learn about the business, how he got started, and also some tips and tricks on how to care for your car. He's also going to let us know if you should ceramic coat white seats in a Tesla, or how to clean your white seats in a Tesla. But after spending some time with him, walking around the shop, talking with him on and off camera, there's something I learned. He only cares about 3 things: his family, his employees, and customer satisfaction. He believes in not just a satisfied customer, but a truly happy customer. And it shows in his work. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview. All right, guys. Hey, what up guys, how's it going? Okay, I'm here with somebody special today. I have the Prince of PPF, the Sultan of ceramic coating, the world-renowned king of wraps, good friend Joe here. Joe, how's it going?
Really well, James. How are you, man?
So everyone knows about OCDetailing, everyone knows about your shop, all the great work you do, but no one knows about the man, the myth, the legend. So tell us about yourself and how you got started.
You know, after an intro like that, I hope it's not too disappointing to everybody, but I'll try my best.
Thank you. Yeah. We want to know all about you.
Sure. So, you know, I actually was just working at a car wash, like as far as in this industry goes. I was working at a little car wash in Walnut Creek. Literally just like they literally have an $8 car wash there. So I discovered there that I really liked cleaning cars. Like I had a lot of fun with it. It was something that I really like doing. Like I always was like, I want the car to be cleaner than they're asking me to get it, and it would bug them because I would slow their production down. But then, but for me, it was very satisfying. I just like doing it, right? So I went from there to working at a detail shop in Orinda, and then eventually I opened OCDetailing in 2013, and I was working by myself, just mainly doing a lot of paint corrections and ceramic coatings. And this is when I was really getting into this stuff and like really like getting better at it and learning there was more that you could do, because it was kind of like I figured out a lot of it on my own. I wasn't really watching a lot of YouTube videos, or I have a lot of cars to work on. You know, there's cars here. Let me see if I can make them better and better and better. And then you know, we got into doing wraps, and the same thing. It's like there was an industry standard where you have certain things that are good enough, or you know, this is the way it's just always been done. But I'm like, can it be better? Mm-hmm. And that's how we ended up where we're at today, man. We're always trying to do the best job we can for our customers.
So here in sunny Fremont, California, what made you decide on this location out of all others in the Bay Area? Oh
man, it was like actually I would have loved to stay over in the East Bay. I was like sharing a little space next to a stereo shop, but if you can imagine wrapping cars or tinting windows when someone's building a speaker box near you.
It's a little tough, a little noisy.
Little noisy, a little dust. the dust. Everyone likes dust under their film. Just kidding. Tesla has some in their paint on occasion, but the amount that would get in film on occasion was unacceptable. So I looked high and low, like for a new place. I was looking at renting places, looking at buying places, and this place popped up on my radar. And I sold a kidney or two and ended up buying this one. So here we are.
It's a nice shop. So how many years have you been doing this?
Since 2008. So that's, if my math's correct, it's like 14 years.
Wow.
Almost 14 years, yeah.
So any formal training, or are you just self-taught, really enthusiastic about this industry?
Well, a little bit of both. So mostly self-taught. I'm extremely stubborn and I like to learn everything the hardest way possible. But that being said, there was a lot of benefit that I got like from paint correction and polishing, going to like some of the McGuire's classes, and the same thing with film, right? Like you can find people that have been doing this for 20 or 30 years, and they'll show you stuff that you didn't know, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. This is a lot easier that way. So mix, but mostly learning the hardest way possible by banging my head into a wall over and over again.
Okay, so with all the detailing stuff going on out there, I know some people get confused between paint protection film and ceramic coating. So why don't we start off with what is ceramic coating?
So ceramic coating is basically chemical resistance. Modern clear coats, what I've noticed is they're very good about oxidation. They've actually come quite a ways on that, but there's some trade-off because I used to see paint get oxidized really bad, like going back into the mid 2000s. Like the paint would fade and it would chalk over, and this was an oxidation thing that you had to keep waxing the car to stop from happening. Well, the new paint systems, they're a lot better about that, but they get etched from chemicals really easily. So bird poops, bug enzymes, or even water mixed with pollen forms a little bit of a caustic mixture on the paint and can leave staining, and it has to be machine polished. Ceramic coating stops that. It prevents the paint from being etched, stained, it prevents oxidation. Along with doing that though, you get all these really cool like side effects where the car stays clean longer, it's much easier to wash, you don't have to worry about waxing it or sealing it up, and it just always looks really shiny when you clean it.
So that's ceramic coating. So let's say I bring my car here, I want my ceramic coating done. What's the process that you guys do?
Oh, so we're gonna take the car and wash it first. After we wash it, we're gonna make sure the paint's really, really clean. We'll do this a couple ways. We use an iron fallout remover because when you're driving around or when the cars are getting built, right after they're painted, particulates of metal start to stick to the paint when you're driving, just from like your brakes or from somebody else's brakes, or also if you're happen to be, rail dust is a big one too on cars that are transported. So we make sure all that's off the paint, and then we'll use a mineral deposit remover. So we use a mineral deposit remover. This gets any embedded water spots or even ones you can't really see, any moisture that's stuck on the paint. We want to get all of it off, and then we do a multiple step paint correction. So we're going to polish the car using very bright flashlights to get rid of any defects that we can find on the car that can safely be removed. After that, I never believed in just making the paint look good, so we'll take the wheels off, polish the wheel barrels, polish the wheel faces, clean the fender liners, deep clean the calipers or polish them if they're painted, polish all the glass, any plastic trim on the car. Like, it really bugs me if you see a really clean car and like a faded windshield cowl, so we coat that too. So we coat everything, paint, wheels, glass, trim, because we want everything to look as good as your paint does for years to come with just washing.
So that's the process. And about how long does a ceramic coating last?
3 to 5 years with proper care. And there's some varying coatings out there that all give different longevity claims. And what I've seen is it's all about how the customer takes care of it when they get it. So if you wash your car regularly and you take really good care of your coating, it will perform a lot better and last a lot longer. However, if you neglect your car and you don't wash it for 6 months at a time, the coating will do exactly what it's supposed to. It'll save your paint from permanent chemical damage, but the coating will probably sacrifice itself in the process.
Okay, so what is PPF? What does it stand for, and what does it do?
It's paint protection film, and it's for impacts. Originally, PPF was designed for helicopter blades in Vietnam because they were having a problem with something was hitting them and causing them to wear too quickly. So someone came out with some plastic they put on these helicopter blades and made them last a lot longer.
Oh wow!
Over time, this evolved to being put on cars, which is kind of what we do now, and it protects the car from like rock chips or lighter impacts. So
would you put ceramic coating over PPF?
I do it all the time. Yeah, because most of the paint protection film is top coated or has a clear coat on it, and they benefit the same way your paint would from the ceramic coating, making it easier to clean and more stain resistant, and like bugs and stuff come off of it easier. So we feel like they're kind of a great match for each other.
And how long does paint protection film last?
Most modern paint protection films are rated at 10 years.
Oh wow, that's a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. Now, you've been doing this a long time. You've been here in Fremont a long time. I know you get a lot of high-end cars, regular cars, pretty much everything. What brand of cars do you see the most, would you say?
I mean, there's 9 Teslas on the other side of the shop, and plus, well, I think there's a bunch of the other, well, we have 2 buildings here, so yeah, Teslas for sure. We do a bunch of them.
Now, is that because Tesla owners are really enthusiastic about keeping their paint and everything looking good, or is Tesla paint known for not being the greatest, so people want to protect it? What would you say in your professional opinion?
So this is a combination of both those things. So I actually feel like a horrible person for perpetuating the rumor that Tesla had soft paint in 2012. I did not have an understanding of soft and hard substrates. I just knew that to my eyes, when you did this to a Tesla, it would scratch, and it had very little to do with the paint actually being soft, or kind of led off to a whole bunch of other things that were said about these cars in their painting process. But to answer your question, Tesla community is super vocal online. They all seem to love their cars, and it's a big deal. Everyone's going to buy one and keep it for a really long time, so they want it to look really good, because nothing quite makes you feel better than a really clean car. It's like a glorious feeling, and all these products make the car easy to keep that way. And that being said, yeah, Teslas are a little prone to chemical etching, like more than other cars, I would say.
Okay, so I have to ask, what is the most difficult wrap you ever had to do, and why was it that hard?
There's a car, well, for a long time I thought a Mercedes G-Wagon was the hardest car on the planet to wrap. If you look at one, it's a box with very hard 90-degree bends. Now, if you've ever made your bed at home, you understand that when you put a sheet on the corner of the bed and you pull it tight, it'll lay flat, and the second you let it go, it bunches up in fingers, or it'll pull back on this end. So the same thing happens with PPF, right? When you're trying to get a flat film to lay on a three-dimensional object, especially one that looks like this. But that being said, we did a Honda Civic Type R full wrap, and that took longer and was harder to do than any car we've ever done. And
really?
Yeah, those are very, very difficult cars to wrap, because you have a million very, very sharp angles and a lot of tiny little pieces that have very sharp angles on them to get film to stick down on. It didn't help that customer was very OCD. I know why he was here.
He had OCD and came to OCD.
Yeah. And his car took 2 weeks to wrap. It was fun.
Oh, now, so I was going to ask you that. So it took 2 weeks. Now, typically, like the Model S Plaid that's behind you, what's the time frame it takes to wrap typically a car?
Start to finish, the whole job takes about 5 days. The actual wrapping part on one of these, because we've done so many of them and we can kind of do them in Braille, is about a day and a half. So you get two guys, roughly 14 man hours.
Wow. Okay, so I have to ask, what's the most expensive car you ever wrapped?
Well, we just did in this crazy world that we live in, there was a $330,000 car here that is selling for $1 million like a week after. Yeah, Mercedes SL or Mercedes AMG GT Black Series was in here, and it's a $330,000 car, which is very, very expensive, but people are reselling them for like, you know, 800,000 or 900,000 or $1 million for one spec, like the one that was here. So I would say that was the most expensive one. So when you have something of that magnitude here, were you nervous? Were you guys nervous wrapping it? Like, oh my God, it's 300,000. Everyone, stay calm and let me do it. No, man. I'm lucky, man. I'm blessed. My guys who have been with me for a very long time. Like, it's funny that my core crew here, a lot of them, worked with me at that car wash in Walnut Creek. We all went through this, so we all wandered our way over to OCD together. So I really trust my guys. They knocked it out of the park. I was hyper nervous anytime I saw it getting moved, like, because you're just like, don't hit anything, or like, and also that car had more carbon fiber on it than anything I've ever seen. So I can only imagine that, like, because I just know how much little pieces of carbon fiber on exotic cars cost. Had we broke anything on that car, it would have been tens of thousands of dollars for some small piece. So, as long as you've been doing this, have you ever came across a car that you refused to coat or wrap? You were just, for whatever reason, you're like, nah, we're not touching this one. If I couldn't explain to the customer expectations that they understood. It's happened once.
Oh wow!
I went over every detail, and it was one of these. It was a Tesla.
No way.
Yeah, because I was explaining exactly how things would come out and this and that, and they weren't willing to accept that, so I couldn't work on their car. But generally speaking, we were built for challenges. So the car that everybody else turned down, we're like, bring it to us. We'll do it.
Believe it or not, I won't get into names or places, but there was a shop I had a friend go to, and they do similar work, and they said, you know what, you should go see Joe at OCDetailing, and they can do it. That's true story. True
That's
story.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard it a couple of times. We won't give up. We'll try. I don't care if it costs me more money than the job costs. If we take in the job, and I say it'll be right, it'll be right.
That's awesome. There's a lot of people in general, as well as Tesla owners out there, you know, washing their cars, caring for them at home. What's the best way for them to take care of their vehicles at home?
Well, just like the technology in cars has changed, so does the way we take care of them. So there's some really great, super easy to use at home chemicals that make it really easy to seal and protect your car and wash it all with a couple gallons of water.
Got it. So I need you to be honest here. How do you feel about drive-through car washes?
They serve a purpose. They definitely clean cars, but you know, if you're bothered by swirl marks and light scratches, it's not for you, because they scratch cars very badly when you drive them through, whether it be the soft cloth or it's the spinny brushes. They leave light surface scratches all over your cars, and sometimes deep ones. So if you're not worried about those things, they're great because it's very quick, cheap, and it gets your car kind of clean, but if you don't like scratches, I probably would avoid it.
So you would never take your car through one of those?
I've done it for all intents and testing purposes, but I was not happy with it. In fact, my car that you saw me in today has been driven through a car wash because it's fully wrapped, and I just wanted to see what it would take to scratch through the self-healing ability of the paint protection film. In my head, I wasn't thinking about the fact that it was going to put scratches in my glass. So now there's like little light scratches on one side of my car in the glass that are just there until I decide to replace the glass to my own experimenting. This is my fault. But yeah, so no, I'm not a fan.
Okay, so I know sometimes people, let's say they wash their car on Monday, and then it's like Thursday afternoon, they're home, they'll take a microfiber and some detail spray and want to wipe the car down. How do you feel about detail spray? Does that put micro scratches on the car, or is it okay, or?
There's a million variables. It's such a loaded question. What did they do Monday through Thursday? Like if the car was lightly dusty and they were using a detail spray, and like with their towel, they were using no pressure whatsoever when they picked it up, it probably would be okay. But if the car was actually any sort of dirty, you'd be better off using a waterless wash or a rinseless car wash than a detail spray, because detail sprays usually have waxes, not surface lubricants. So they're more likely to just drag anything on the paint rather than pick it up. So
I've heard of this place for a while, and it seems like business has grown. I wanted to ask, how many employees do you have, and how many bay doors do you have here?
Also, right now we have 16 employees.
Wow.
You know, it was really easy to wrap and detail cars. Getting 15 people or 16 people to do the things you want them to do in 30-minute increments, that is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So we have, along with the 16 people, we have, so we have 5 places we can work on cars right here. Plus we have a shop next door with an equal amount of room. So total we can work on 10 cars at a time.
So would that explain how your turnaround time is so fast? Because I have a buddy who went somewhere else against my advice.
Sure.
And he was just getting PPF on the front of his vehicle, and it's been 6 days now. So is that how you guys are able to?
The shop's not working on his car. It's parked outside, waiting to come in the shop.
Oh,
100% probably what's happening with your buddy's car. But, and you know, just in all fairness, that's happened to us. But we're very efficient at what we do, right? Like being very OCD and again, learning everything through extremely hard knocks, and just at the core of all of it, just wanting nothing but my customers to be happy. I learned and I put systems in place to make everything go as efficiently as it can. So that does help, you know, that I have a lot of employees and stuff. Because if you're 1 or 2 people, and I was there when I first started, and you don't want to tell someone no because they're asking you if they can bring their car in, but you're looking at the work you have to do, you're like, well, I have 4 days worth of work here, and this is 2 days worth of work, and this guy wants to bring his car in, so I don't want to tell him no, but I'm not going to touch it for 6 days.
Oh, so
but it's here. So So and I think I would be shocked if there's not a busy shop out there that hasn't done that, or somebody when they're working their way up to being a little more organized. And even when you get to the volumes that we're doing and organized, you still have things that can just ruin your day, and like and stuff can go backwards. Like a Honda Civic Type R can spend 2 weeks right here in this room where you normally would see a car come and go every day and a half.
So, with all your years' experience, is there a particular car that comes in that you're like, yes, I love wrapping this car. This one's so cool to do.
Teslas. I love Teslas, man. The owners are always so happy and enthusiastic about it, and they're excited, and we do them all the time. So I really consistent results on these, right? I know exactly this is the cookie here. I can make this cookie exactly the same way every single time because I've done it 10,000 times. Everyone's really grateful. So it's the coolest community out there for sure.
So I brought a couple of vehicles here. Something that I noticed was where you guys had detailed the cars when I came to pick them up. Sure. That's something super cool that you guys provide, and I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that, because most places you go for a wrap, they'll wrap it and then have a nice day. I came to pick up my vehicles. You guys were vacuuming, washing, all that stuff. Is that just something you decided to do for your customers? Well,
it's really important to me because, you know, some of this stuff, it costs some money, right? And like, I just remember going back to working at the car wash for $8.95 where we would vacuum your car. And I was like, I can't have someone come spend, you know, hundreds or thousands of dollars here and us not vacuum the car. So I'm insistent that we give the car back much cleaner than we got it. And your car was dirty. I remember now.
Yeah, it was.
You said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
You weren't supposed to say that on camera.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so I gotta ask, for my wife and for other Tesla owners out there, can you please put the myth to bed? Is ceramic coating white seats in a Tesla? Is that a thing? Does it do anything? Is there any benefit to that? I've heard, yes, you gotta do it. And I've heard, no, it's all a myth. Can you please, to your professional knowledge, put that question to bed?
So if somebody comes in my shop and they have a brand new Tesla and they say, hey, I would like to ceramic coat my seats, I tell them they shouldn't do it right now. And I say that because from the factory, that leather is treated with something that's actually pretty good. Now, there was once upon a time where I had to buy a white Tesla seat. I don't know what happened, but I ended up with my possession a driver's seat from a Model 3 that was made of that white leather. And I chemically battered it. I wanted to see, I was like, well, if I paid for this seat, I'm gonna get some fun testing out of this. And I sprayed it with degreasers, and I sprayed it with solvents, and I scrubbed it with like abrasive polishes just to see what it would take to actually stain that leather. And it held up pretty well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like, but what I found though is, and this is with that test plus what I see, is after about a year or two, if you're, and again, a million variables with driving, right? How much they're in the car or whatever else, but this, like abrasives,
yeah.
I feel like the coating gets abraded, or whatever's on those seats that causes them to be hydrophobic gets abraded from movement and stuff like that. So at that time, I've seen a big benefit on ceramic coating the seats. I say, like, if you did it a year later, I always tell customers, just come back in like a year and we'll do it.
Okay.
A lot of times it's just the driver's seat we're doing. Like literally that's all we can find, because you can water test it. You go spray water on it and you're like, oh, this is beating water really well. And it cleans easy. It's still there. And then you spray the bottom of the seat and it's flat and you can't get your blue jean transfers off of it anymore.
Right.
Oh, coating's dead. You need to fix it.
So if there's some dirt, smudges, blue jeans, whatever, what would you say for the average consumer at home, the best way for them to care for their white seat?
I really love Optima No Rinse for an interior cleaner. It mixed
really?
Yeah, and it mixed a little bit stronger than you would do for washing a car, but still about 100 to 1. 100 to 1 with a white microfiber. You don't want to use colored microfibers because sometimes the dye transfer onto the seats can be annoying to clean. So usually use like a white microfiber, get it generously wet, and just a little abrasive, a little elbow grease, and that does a pretty good job. Also, like everyone's experienced, we call it cheeseburger wheel, where your steering wheel's all shiny, right?
Yes.
Like, you look at it, you're like, oh, it's so shiny. And like, we never noticed this happening. What I tell people is, look at the passenger headrest of your car, and that's what all the leather in your car should look like. It's usually very matte, not shiny. So what I found is Optima No Rinse actually does a pretty good job of restoring that on leather. So if you grab it, scrub your steering wheel, you'll notice, like, oh wow, that's what it's supposed to look like. But it works really great as an interior cleaner.
Got it. All right, you guys, so I just wanted to thank Joe for taking time out of his super busy schedule.
Thanks, man.
If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in Northern California, even if you're in Nebraska and you want your car done right, bring it all the way here to Fremont. OCDetailing, they'll take care of you for all your powder coating, all your wraps, and all of your ceramic coating needs. Anything you need, talk to this man right here. If it doesn't have OCD on it, you're probably going to the wrong place. Just trust me, this is where you want to be. Joe, thank you so much. I'm also going to follow up with him in a couple of months, get some more tips for you out there how to care for your car. And then he and I have already been talking about what's going to go on with the Cybertruck, because we know he's going to be like Santa Claus, just rapping when it comes to the Cybertruck. But all right, you guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep.